Welcome to my engine management system. Here it is. It's essentially a pretty basic PCB with a lot of leaded components and a nice amp, EconoCell 36-way connector on the end, and the star of the show is the Atmel AVR ATMega128 16 MHz RISC CPU, 4K RAM, 128K flash. One of the main attributes this CPU has is 6 timer compare channels that can do a 16-bit compare with a base counter, and that's what I use to generate pulses, or do pulse generation for fuel injection and ignition. So if I zoom out a bit, you can see there are a couple of serial ports. One's going to this PC here where I can run this app that talks to my ECU, so I'm just going to try and connect to the ECU, but it would help if I turned the power on first, and yep, there we go. So I connect, the thing discovers what sort of version of database that I'm using for it, and then you can see on the screen here I've got a real-time sort of dash display. This isn't really just a full guided tour, this is just a sort of a simple overview of what the system can do. So you can see there's a navigation tree, all the engine parameters are organized. Notice that some of these boxes started off as dark green. When they go to light green, it means they've been read. So a map doesn't read by default, this two-dimensional volumetric efficiency table, but if I click the edit button, you see it reads out of the ECU, and then I can click and edit and fill in numbers and do that sort of thing. And of course I can see the feedback here on the dash screen as well. Another thing I've recently added to the ECU, still in prototype form, is this electronic throttle body controller, which I have down here, and it has an electronic pedal from a Toyota, I think Vitz or something. So it's just demonstrating moving the thing a bit. If we look on the dash over here, you can see that when I'm using the electronic throttle pedal, the red needle on the pedal position gauge over there shows the position pedal, and the blue one shows the actual position. Now I actually have a non-linear mapping to make the throttle open a lot more slowly near open position, and it catches up when you get right to the end. It's a bit hard for me to push 100% with one hand though. So I'll show you one other little trick. One of the test modes I built into the ECU is that I can simulate the encoder signal inputs that you'd get from a real engine. So I can do that with a simulate crank rotation thing here, and I click this button here which says start engine, and you watch the RPM. So it's just simulating an engine starting and flaring and then settling down to a certain speed. And then over here you can see this is the pulse generation output. So we've got the encoder at the top, the 1 in 720 sync, and the 24 pulses per revolution below that. Then we've got 4 channels of sequential fueling, and then 2 channels of wasted spark. So I'm just going to change the RPM up to much higher, and you see the fuel pulses have gone to tiny little slits, which basically means the system is doing a fuel cut, and that's actually because the throttle's position sitting at 0. So I'll just push the throttle with my hand here in the background, and you can see we get proper fueling. Right, I'm just going to hit the stop engine button, and that's it, demo complete.